Burkina Faso, a land whose name means the land of upright people. A nation with a revolutionary soul, a legacy of defiance, and now, once again, a rising voice. In 2022, as the country stood on the brink of collapse under the weight of insecurity, corruption, and foreign interference, a young army captain emerged, not just as a soldier, but as a symbol. His name, Captain Ibrahim Traoré. At just 34 years old, Traoré stepped forward in what many saw as a desperate moment. But for the people of Burkina Faso, it was something different. It was a turning point, a resurrection of spirit, a reclaiming of destiny. But to understand Traoré's rise, you have to go back. Not just years, but decades. Thomas Sankara, the revolutionary president of the 1980s, a bold and uncompromising leader who became a symbol of African liberation and self-reliance. Sankara refused to bow to the International Monetary Fund. He renamed the country from Upper Volta to Burkina Faso. He promoted self-sufficiency, banned colonial luxury among officials, empowered women, and planted millions of trees to fight desertification. Sankare's message was clear: he who feeds you, controls you. And for that, he was assassinated. But his death did not bring silence. It awakened a restless hunger for change that refuses to die. But ideas, real ones, don't die. They sleep, and sometimes they awaken in unexpected places. They have awoken in the young Captain Ibrahim Traoré, whom many see the torchbearer of Sankara's legacy, revived, modernized, and unafraid. But Traoré is not simply echoing the past. He is confronting the present and rewriting the future. From the moment he took power, Traoré made his intentions clear. Burkina Faso would no longer be a pawn in a global game of resource extraction and military dependency. Under his leadership, the country expelled French troops, ending decades of so-called military cooperation that many Burkinabés saw as occupation cloaked in diplomacy. Next came the rejection of IMF-style economic programs, those infamous loans wrapped in the language of development, but designed to entrench debt. Instead of dependence, Traoré offered a new vision: the alliance of Sahel states. This is not just a military alliance, it's a movement, a Pan-African awakening in real time. But every revolution invites resistance, and Traoré's Burkina Faso has faced plenty of it, not just on the battlefield, but in boardrooms, newsrooms, and back channels. The mainstream media quickly labeled him a strongman, a military ruler, a threat to democracy. But they rarely asked why Burkina Faso would want to walk away from its colonial benefactors. They ignored the generations of French-backed rulers who oversaw poverty while foreign corporations mined gold from Burkinabé soil. They dismissed the will of the people who flooded the streets not in protest, but in celebration, when Traoré declared the French must go. And beyond the headlines, the warfare continued. Economic sabotage, covert operations, financial restrictions, and shadow diplomacy. NGOs were suspended, aid was withheld, currency pressure intensified, all designed to send one message: obey or suffer. But something extraordinary is happening. Despite these pressures, or perhaps because of them, the Sahel is rising. Young people, once told their only future was migration or war, are now standing up to say no more. No more puppet leaders, no more foreign boots, no more economic chains disguised as charity. Across Mali, Niger, Guinea, and beyond, new voices are emerging, echoing each other, learning from each other, refusing to be silenced. And while critics scramble to discredit this movement, one thing becomes increasingly clear. Captain Ibrahim Traoré is not just changing Burkina Faso, he is shaking the global order. He represents the kind of leader that powerful nations fear, not because he's reckless, but because he's rooted. Rooted in the soil of his people, rooted in a legacy of African resistance, rooted in a future written not in Washington or Paris, but in Ouagadougou, Bamako, Niamey, and wherever Africans dare to say, "We choose ourselves." Yes, there will be challenges. Yes, mistakes will be made, but something sacred has been reignited. This is not chaos, this is clarity. The world is watching, hoping it's a moment, but in truth, it is a movement. A movement lit by Sankara, carried forward by Traoré, and now, belonging to all who refuse to be ruled by history's chains. The struggle is far from over, it is only just beginning, and Africa is no longer asking, begging, or waiting for permission. The tide is turning, and the continent is rising on its own terms.